broaden our minds. Lawrence?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Slav's Free Talk Podcast. This should be an interesting show indeed. James Gunn hate has hit a new low. These people just continuously show how unknowing they are of how the industry works, and they think they're so smart when we know they really aren't. So we're going to get into that, as well as a plethora of other topics that are out there in the world. So let's get into it. This is going to be a big show today. So let's get into it. What's going on, everybody? I know there's a lot of you already in the chat. How is it going? Derpy Entertainment goes, wait, people still hating on James Gunn? Believe it or not, yes. I know that's a joke, Derpy Entertainment. I know it's a joke. For those of you who are new to this channel, to this show, welcome. I welcome you all here. The gist of this show, the way this show works, specifically our Monday show, is we have a handful of topics that we cover news-wise. Over the past week, we discussed those news topics, and then the second half of this show, we talk about a main topic. This week's main topic is about James Gunn and how everybody is attacking him, specifically over this past weekend over the big win that DC Studios had. And it was a huge win. They had a huge win this past weekend. It was quite incredible. So we're going to talk about that. Johnny Dumb Studios jumps in and says, did you see the official Green Lantern How casting? We sure did, and we will talk about that. Don't you worry. Jalen Harris, hello, everybody. Hello, everyone. Hello, everybody. Hello. How's it going? All right, the first thing, we got to get moving here. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. So the first thing we're going to talk about here is the big Rey Skywalker Star Wars news. I don't know if any of you are Star Wars fans, but we got some big news here. Lucasfilm is in crisis, guys. They're in crisis mode right now after the debacle that was the Acolyte just a few months ago. They are just, they don't know what to do with themselves. They don't know what to do. And the funny thing is, if you are somebody who has followed my channel for the last number of months, specifically, I mean, this channel here, I have been really kind of pushing for the last year, believe it or not. This channel has been around for longer than that, but only over the last year have I really been pushing this channel. And during that time, believe it or not, I've been talking about Star Wars quite a bit. And one of the things I said on multiple occasions is if the Acolyte failed, be on the lookout that it could potentially lead to them canceling the Rey movie. And then a couple weeks ago, we wrote an article over at slavsfreetalk.com because we heard some rumblings that they were doing some retooling, restructuring over at Lucasfilm. The Taika Waititi movie we heard was no more, and Daniel RPK has since confirmed this himself. It's on indefinite hold because we know what that means. But Daniel RPK is also now saying that the new Jedi Order movie starring Daisy Ridley as Rey reportedly needs more work and is now on hold. On hold. It's not expected to start filming until 2025. I think this is hilarious. This is just par for the course for Lucasfilm and how they handle things. Because when it comes to Lucasfilm, what they like to do is they like to, hey, here's a movie. We're going to do a movie. And everybody gets all divisive about it. Oh, we don't need this. We don't want this. Oh, we don't need that. We don't want this. And people get all mad and they fight back and forth. And Kathy Kennedy, Lucasfilm, they just sit back and they just continue to count their money because for some reason, people just continuously buy Star Wars stuff. Well, that isn't happening anymore. But what they do is they sit back and they just let it happen. They let the fans fight each other and just beat each other up over this stuff when it has nothing to do with the fans. It's Lucasfilm who's causing this ruckus. But what is happening is the fans are fighting back now. But typically, Lucasfilm will sit back and they're like, oh, okay, we're going to make this movie. And then they realize, oh, crap, we're not going to make this movie. Let's say it's going to be pushed back or delayed. Okay. They did that with Patty Jenkins. There's going to be a delay. All right. And then we hear nothing. There's just chirp, 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 nothing. Crickets, nothing, nothing. And that's what's going to happen with this, guys. I'm telling you now, this Ray movie is not going to happen. It's the same type of thing. Sharmina Obaid-Chinoy is just the same the same type of person that Leslie Headland was. This altruistic, woke type of filmmaker that Lucasfilm is going to now try to get away from. That's the truth of the matter. Whether you agree with that type of mindset or not, that is the facts. After the failure of The Acolyte, they're not going to want to do that again with this Ray movie. They say they're going to push it back to 2025 right now. Sure, maybe that's what they do, but it's unlikely that that's how it's going to happen. The only other thing that we could see happening is that they do a completely restructuring of who's directing, who's writing, and how everything's going to happen with this movie. That is the only possibility that this movie actually gets made. But we know that a lot of the people in Lucasfilm are too proud to do that. It's either my way or it doesn't happen at all. And that's kind of how it happens there. You saw that with Patty Jenkins. You saw that with Benioff and Weiss. You saw that with Ryan Johnson. You saw that with Josh Trank. I mean, all these different projects over the years that have been announced or rumored or were going to happen and then just got delayed or just never happened. This is what happens because something becomes divisive. They get scared. They say, oh, it's going to be delayed. And then it just never happens. It's just interesting to see. And it's nice to see when, I won't say it's nice to see, but it's nice to see that, I've been sitting here talking about this for how long, and you kind of get excited. I get excited whenever it's like, look, I know what I'm talking about, people. I know what I'm talking about. But I digress. Let me know your thoughts. I want to know what you guys all think in the comments, of course, and hit that like button, hit subscribe for more about Star Wars. I will continue talking about Star Wars as always. I know you guys love the DC talk, but I will continue talking Star Wars because people like that as well. All right, what are you guys saying over here? Derpy Entertainment says Star Wars is dead to me. I'm sorry, man. It is kind of dead though. Jalen Harris. Oh goodness, not Star Wars news. Jalen says, I don't really trust RPK because he can be wrong. Absolutely, RPK can be wrong. As so can any scooper. And the way I always talk about scoopers as well as even news outlets, unless it's Deadline or THR or things like that, you have to take all this stuff with a grain of salt. But the fact is, when you start hearing the same thing over and over again, I think that there's some truth to it, at least a little bit of truth. But again, it brings up conversation. It gives you a reason to talk and realize like, hey, there could be some truth to this. There are things going on at Lucasfilm and Star Wars that is not good. They are in shambles right now, and there's some things going on. And do I think the Rey movie will be canceled? I would say that it's a good 75% chance that it gets canceled. I would say that 25% chance that it doesn't get canceled means that they're going to get a new director, possibly a new writing team, and retool that whole film before it actually gets made. That's my belief. Sacred Life. I feel like the OG Star Wars films, New Hope, Last Jedi. You're saying Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back were the only good ones for me personally. That's a lot of people's feelings. Jalen, not defending Lucasfilm, but let's take this with a grain of salt still. Absolutely. Like I said, I say that all the time with scoopers, with, again, anything that's not Deadline, The Hollywood Reporter, those big outlets, you take it with a grain of salt, man. Jalen says, I don't even hate the idea of a Rey movie, but Lucasfilm can't even make a single movie. I hate the idea of a Rey movie. Even though I have a, I like to do fanfic myself from time to time. I made a what if the Obi-Wan series was better video. It's on my channel. You can find it. You can check it out if you'd like. I actually have a Rey film that I need to edit. I need to finish and put it out. Maybe I'll work on that in the coming week or two and get it out with this news. People might be interested. But yeah, I'd like to get that up. Hunter Iggy, Slavs, Free Talk, what's up? What's going on, Hunter? TSC Pulse, what's up, chat? What's going on, TSC? Critic Chris, in my opinion, story was told and done after episode 3. Only thing that got my interest was Star Wars The Mandalorian and Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Sequels was crap. Yes. Did anyone actually ask for delay? Oh, TSC Pulse asked for the Rey movie. No, nobody asked for it. Johnny Dome Studios, glad I stuck with Star Trek. TSC, man, Star Wars used to be such a great IP. Indeed. On Serious User, I still like media like the Jedi Fallen Order games, but I personally am done with Star Wars. I still like a lot, but don't really have much interest in new things. Manos time. Hello, Slav. Hope you are okay. I'm okay. I hope you're doing good yourself. All right. Moving on to the next topic, because this one is Marvel related. I don't know if you guys are interested or care, but we're going to move on to the Thunderbolts trailer. We're not going to watch the trailer or anything. I'm just going to give my thoughts because we got a trailer, we got a poster. I have to say, Marvel loves to kind of, do this occasionally, just randomly throw a trailer down. Now, this movie's coming out in May. It's kind of shocking because this is about 8 months before the movie's even coming out. That's a little early for them to throw a trailer out. They typically throw their trailers out about 6 months before they come out. So honestly, we're sitting here, we're taking a look at this, or I'm taking a look at this, and I'm like, okay, there has to be a reason why they're putting it out this early. It's like, what is the reason? And I remember, okay, they're going to be ramping up their promoting for Captain America. Duh. So they wanted to get this out. I want to get this out because within the next 2 months, it's going to be all Captain America, Brave New World. Makes sense. So I watched this trailer, and it's not terrible. It isn't a bad trailer. You can definitely tell that they're going with Florence Pugh as being the main character of this movie. They're really going all in with her being the main character. And that's fine. She's a good actress. I'm not going to take that away from her. But honestly, I kind of got two things from this. This movie could be a fun time. It could be. It absolutely could be a fun time. But I honestly got kind of a vibe of both versions of Suicide Squad that we got. Both David Ayer's, not his cut, but the Suicide Squad from 2016, and then James Gunn Suicide Squad kind of meshed together. And that is what I kind of feel from this. And that could work, and that could be interesting. It's going to be a little more gritty of a Marvel movie, maybe, with a dash of that humor that Marvel brings in. Not as edgy as a James Gunn type of stuff, but it could be interesting. It could be interesting. Again, even like the poster gives you that weird James Gunn Suicide Squad humor, not so much the 2016 Suicide Squad humor. That's what the poster gives you. But I don't know. I'm optimistic about this film. I'm not excited about it. I'm not like overly hopeful for it. This is another one of those movies that I don't think anybody asked for, but hey, let's check it out. Let's see what they can do. Let's see if they can give us something different that isn't just crap like we've been getting for the last 5 years, essentially. I mean, it's probably going to be crap, but maybe it won't be crap. Like maybe it won't be. Maybe it'll actually be something worth watching. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, though. I'd love to hear what you have to think about all of this. Let's jump over to the chat again. This, let's see. We got Triton. Triton, I haven't seen you for quite some time. Remember me? Yes. Yeah, you used to watch my channel Bridging the Geekdoms all the time. Yes, I do remember you. And believe it or not, there's a possibility Bridging the Geekdoms might be coming back. I don't know what's going on with that, but it might be. So keep that in mind. What's going on, Triton? Unserious user 99. Why so unserious? I'm actually, why do I do that? I'm an idiot. I am actually interested in U.S. Agent and see what they do with Sentry, but I personally feel like they are kind of trying to make a new Suicide Squadish film. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's what it kind of felt like. I said, and again, like you said, Sentry. That's Bob. Bob's going to be Sentry. Talked about that a couple weeks ago. That it's probably going to be Sentry. It should be interesting. Definitely should be interesting. Jalen says, "I honestly like the vibe of this trailer. It had a good vibe. It definitely did. Again, it just I have a little hope that this could be okay. It could be okay. I think that's all I'm looking for right now is an okay Marvel movie for once, because that's what we need. Um, Sentry had 6 fingers in the trailer or in the poster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That right there. Yeah, yeah, he definitely does. I'm gonna hide that. Let me take off my logo there. Hide it. Yeah, if you look right here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He definitely does. Gotta love the AI generated posters that they've been making for these movies, don't you? Ah, that's wild. Good catch there, Triton. I don't know if whoever caught that, if you caught that or somebody else did. Nice catch though. That's wild. Johnny Dome Studios. Marvel copying DC now. Oh, I'm just kidding. And if they do the 8 months before thing, then Superman trailer in December. Just kidding. Oh man. Man of Time. I wonder if the movie is going to be a rated R. Looks fun, but I don't know. It's not going to be rated R. No, it'll be PG-13. That's what they were going for. Cozy Line. Marvel's trailers are usually good, but the end result is always meh. Yeah, that's typically right. Critic Chris, MCU had 3 great phases. After that, it was hit or miss films. I'm optimistic about Thunderbolts. Jalen, okay, let's not pretend that the first 3 phases didn't have hit or miss like Phase 4, Thor 2, Iron Man 2. Yeah. Hell, Ant-Man 2. Yeah, okay. Sacred Life. This one of those films that I need to know more about before I decide whether I'm going to see it or not. All right. Moving on to the next topic. This one will get some fans excited about the DC properties because this one is all about the Batman. And that's right. Matt Reeves has confirmed that the script for the Batman 2 is complete. This coming from Entertainment Weekly, they were talking all about what the plan is with, Penguin and how the Penguin leads into the Batman 2 and what have you. And Matt Reeves has basically said that, he's gearing up for the next movie sequel. The script is finished, he confirms, and everyone is preparing to start production next year. He does tease that there's a period of time, part 2 will jump to after the first film and the TV series. Oz does become one of the entry points into the movie, he adds. I can't tell you where it goes from there, except to say that we're super excited about it. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because for those people who are excited about the Batman 2, it sounds like you're going to have to watch the Penguin series. It sounds like this is going to be a journey that you're going to have to go from the Batman to the Penguin to the Batman 2, and even possibly more. It sounds like there could be more in the works. I know that I was talking not long ago that, heck, they could just be canceling the Batman 2. They could just be ending it at the Batman 2. But it sounds like, depending on how things go, there could be another series in the works. There could be a Batman 3. There could be even more to build out this universe, to complete and build out this story and world for Matt Reeves to really flesh out what he wants to do. And it really sounds like he wants to get this all out there and really wants the fans and the viewers and the people, the audience, to invest their time and energy into this. That is a far cry from what, say, Kevin Feige, I'm sorry, I couldn't remember his name for a second. Kevin Feige was trying to do over at Marvel, saying, oh, you don't need to watch our shows to watch our movies. No, this is like, look, this is pretty intense. Like, you're going to have to watch Batman, the Penguin, the Batman Part 2, and anything else. You're going to, if you want to understand everything, you got to watch it all. And to me, that's kind of wild because think about it. I mean, the Batman was a slog. To me, it was a slog. And the Penguin, that just seems so intense. And you go from the Batman to the Penguin. That's going to be so intense. Then you have to watch the Batman Part 2. I tell you what, hey, if it's all good, that's great. But if the Penguin turns out to be a slog like it was, like the Batman was, you're gonna have to count me out. I'm just telling you, you're gonna have to count me out. I'm just not gonna want to watch it. I'm gonna have to bow out because, man, I tell you, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough. But let me know your thoughts about that in the comments below. What do we got here? Let's see. So Hunter Iggy goes, the 4K is still saying that Rebel Moon still drew. I don't care about that right now, buddy. I'm sorry, Hunter. I don't care about the 4KO right now. Jalen excited. Yes, Penguin. Unserious. I wonder if the Penguin will be one of the main antagonists of the Batman 2. It sounds like from this that Oz is going to become one of the entry points into the movie. Will he be a main protagonist or will he kind of be a side character? He was kind of just a side character in the first Batman, wasn't really a main protagonist, but kind of a catalyst in pushing the story forward in a way. Could he be like that in the second one, or will he be an antagonist? That's an interesting question. I don't know. I guess we'll see how he develops in the Penguin series. I think that'll tell us more than anything else. Critic Chris, hope that changes with Gunn's DCU. Oh, wait, you're talking to Sacred Life. Sorry. I got to pay attention and not talk to you guys there. Sacred Life, Scared Life, man. I'm so hyped for Batman Part 2 after watching the very first episode of the Penguin series last night. Matthew got out. I only thought the Batman was okay. Decent start and beginning. It wasn't exactly Batman Begins. I'm with you, Matthew. Derpy Entertainment. I honestly don't want the Batman Part 2. I want it canceled. Man. Look, I just think that they need to focus solely on the DCU and not Elseworld projects, but that's just me. At least right now. Eventually, yes. But right now, I think they just need to focus all their attention on the DCU. That's what I say. All right. Lost myself here. Jalen says, the first episode of The Penguin was so good and the viewer numbers are high. Sorry, spoilers. That was the next topic. No, we're good. Matthew says it made money and made DC and WB happy, though. I thought Catwoman was good. Yeah, everybody's talking about Batman here. Cozy Line says, DC is finally eating good after 10 years. Critic Chris, I don't see Mr. Freeze fit Reeves' tone, but hope it's better than the last film. I guess you guys are talking about who is going to be the villain. Interesting. Sacred. Stop with the Sacred. Scared Life. I feel like character like Hush would be in the Batman Part 2. Could be. Johnny Dome Studios. DC should hire Edward Norton. Marvel made a mistake firing him. They didn't really fire him per se. There was just a dispute over what his character was, or his character arc was going to be, and how, the longevity of him and stuff like that. There's a whole thing about that. Edward Norton's a great actor, though. Great actor. One of my favorite movies for Edward Norton is Primal Fear. That movie is phenomenal. If you've never seen that, go watch it. Don't read up on it. Don't listen to it. Don't let anybody talk to you about it if you've never seen it. Just go watch that movie. Go watch it. Don't, like I said, don't read anything about it. Don't talk to anybody about it. Just go watch that movie. Phenomenal film. Phenomenal film. All right, but that's the Penguin talk for the day. I know people like to hear that. The big news today, though, big news today for DC related stuff. Kyle Chandler set to star in HBO's Lanterns series. This comes from the Hollywood Reporter. That is right. Official, according to the Hollywood Reporter, they have found their Hal Jordan in Kyle Chandler. I think this is really funny because just a few days ago, on September 19th, I tweeted out, after everything DCU said, Ewan McGregor, Matthew McConaughey are rumored to be the frontrunners in playing Hal Jordan in Lanterns after Josh Brolin turned down the offer. I said, it's going to be someone no one expects, I bet. I said that on September 19th. And sure enough, nobody had Kyle Chandler on their bingo card. I'm telling you right now, nobody had it on their bingo card. But it's a hell of a choice. I mean, he's a great actor. I mean, he was in things like Godzilla, King of the Monsters, Super 8, Mayor of Kingstown. He is a phenomenal actor. But nobody would have thought, everybody was looking for A-list actors. But I'm thinking the reason why the A-list actors turned this down, people like Josh Brolin, Ewan McGregor, Chris Pine, things like that, the reason why they turned this down is because of the longevity of the role. And the reason why we say that is because it's being said that this is a 1-year deal, that this is a deal just for this show. There are no movies part of this deal, that this is a deal that is just for this show. So it kind of sounds like Hal Jordan may die in this show, or at the very least disappear, go off into another realm, go somewhere, disappear, not be around very long after this. The main Green Lantern is going to be John Stewart in some form or fashion. At least the main Justice League Green Lantern, because we know Guy Gardner's around as well. But that's I think the big reason why they couldn't get a Josh Brolin, a Ewan McGregor, or Timothy Olyphant, or whomever. I think that's why. But that's okay. You know, and you sit there and you start to see people complain and say, oh, and people thought they were going to get, Josh Brolin, and they get Kyle Chandler. Kyle Chandler's a great actor. He's a phenomenal actor. No, he's not a big A-lister like Josh Brolin, but that doesn't negate the amount of great films he's been in and great projects he's done and the great work that he's done. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm absolutely looking forward to it. I can't wait to see what he does. Now we wait and see who Jon Stewart's going to be. That's exciting, because who's Jon Stewart going to be? Who's going to be standing next to Kyle Chandler's Hal Jordan? And again, every step of the way, we keep hearing, we keep seeing all this information, because now it's kind of like, okay, we got an older Hal Jordan. We've got this idea of an older Hal Jordan. We're going to get a younger Jon Stewart. Now I want my Barry Allen to be older, in his like 40s, 50s, not 50s, but maybe 40s. And then give us a young Wally West. Give us that Flash. That's what I would like to see. Or are they going to give us like a Jay Garrick and a younger Barry Allen? Are they going to do something like that? That could be interesting. Play around with it, James Gunn. Let's have some fun with this. I don't know. But let me know your thoughts, because this is exciting news. The DCU is moving full steam ahead. I love to see it. We love to see it. We all love to see it. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that like button. Hit subscribe for more on the DCU moving forward. What do we got over here? Whole bunch of comments. I don't even know where it was. Jalen Harris goes, yes, Green effing Lantern news. I don't know if that's what you sound like, but yeah, that's what I want. Critic Chris, first person comes to mind as Jon Stewart. GL, in my opinion, would be Michael J. White. He's a little old. I think they're going to go younger. I think they said they're going, for like 30s, early 30s. I don't think Michael J. White's that young. Matthew Gaudette, Batman Year One is brilliant. So is Long Halloween. Dark Knight Returns. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Talk about comics. That's okay. Have fun talking in the comments. Derpy says, I wonder who Jon Stewart will be. Fan cast want Aaron Pierre, and if that's the case, I'll be disappointed. I'd rather get someone like John Boyega, Damson Idris, or Shavante Rhodes. I love the John Boyega option, but he had some issues recently in a movie, so maybe they don't want to pull that over. Yeah, so Scared Life. I've only seen him in the Godzilla and Kong movies. However, I'm excited to see what he does with Green Lantern character. He's a great actor. Man of Steel, Kyle Chandler's phenomenal. And a lot of people have a problem with the age, so they're not hyped with the cast, unfortunately. Just tell them to shut up. That's all. Just say shut up. Tell them to shut up. James is giving us the DCAU Justice League. Critic Chris always thought Ryan Reynolds would have been perfect Wally West Flash. As would I, Critic Chris. I said that years ago, back in like the mid 2000s, like 2005, 2006. I always said Ryan Reynolds was perfect for Wally West. Wally West Flash would have been, if they ever made a Justice League film or a Flash movie back in that time, Ryan Reynolds would have been perfect. That was like right when Ryan Reynolds was starting to like come out. I think it was what was that show, Two Girls and a Pizza Plate, or whatever that show was called. And that was like the first time I ever saw him. And I was like, holy crap, that guy could play Wally West or the Flash. I just knew him as the Flash because when I was watching the Justice League, I didn't know it was Wally West. I didn't know the differences at the time. But yeah, that like absolutely 100%. 100%. Yeah, you're gay. My thoughts, Mano's time. My thoughts are if this series works, this won't be the only time they'll handle Green Lantern. We're going to get a crap ton of Green Lantern. You know that. Jalen Harris, I know people hate this casting because of age, but 60 isn't an end-all, be-all for some actors, and we knew that Hal was going to be an older character. Johnny Dome Studios, Edward Norton, the question, please. That'd be very interesting. Jalen Harris. So Barry Allen is probably going to be older, and the main Flash is Wally in the verse. What do you think? That's what I would like to see. I would like to see that. I would love to see that, but we don't know. Who knows what James Gunn is thinking? Like I said, maybe they don't go that route. Maybe they bring in Jay Garrick and kind of switch things up a little bit and make Jay Garrick the older Flash and training a younger Barry Allen. And who knows? I mean, who knows the route they go with this? Because they've got a whole playground to play with, or sandbox, whatever you want to call it, to play with, so they can do and play with the toys however they want. So yeah, Miles Teller for Barry Allen. That's not a bad choice. I don't hate that choice. That's though not going the older route, because Miles Teller is what, probably early 30s, so that would be going the younger-ish route. But Miles Teller's not a bad choice. I like that choice. Definitely like that choice. I don't know. Let's move on to the next topic. This one I think people are going to be interested in. We're going to cover this one pretty quickly. But a lot of people were talking about this the other day. Now, there's this website called productionweekly.com. Every Thursday, it kind of pops up and tells everybody, specifically Hollywood, the insiders at Hollywood, what productions in Hollywood are starting to ramp up. And some people, wow, 37? I'm sorry, 37? That's how old Miles Teller is? Man, that's crazy. Anyways, some people got all up in a tizzy because there are two things that they noticed in the latest Production Weekly. Obviously, they saw The Authority on here. So if you see right here, it says The Authority right here is in production. That just means when it says in production, that means that the production is ramping up. Pre-production, they got directors, they got producers, they got writers, whatever it is. It could be some of those are starting to get ramped up. This website specifically is used for those in Hollywood to understand that things are in process. It means that it's an active production. It means that they can have contact information to those people that are in those productions so they can reach out to them and get a hold of them. But the other thing that people saw that is really interesting is this one right here, Clayface. And this one is really, really, really interesting because Clayface doesn't really mean anything else besides something in DC. I mean, it could, but unlikely. So what could that mean? Like, what other things could it mean for Clayface? Because the DCU, there was no announcements for Chapter 1 that there was a Clayface movie or project. And it seems kind of weird that you would get a Batman villain before a Batman movie, being made. Be very strange. Specifically, someone like Clayface. Like I could see a Harley Quinn or a Joker or something like that. A big Batman villain maybe. But Clayface, that just seems a little weird and outrageous. So DCU doesn't seem right. But could it be a Matt Reeves project? Could that be something under Matt Reeves? Well, back in March of 2023, Mike Flanagan pitched a pick on Clayface to Warner Brothers in DC. And this is coming from Deadline. Now, he did Dr. Sleep, and he pitched a feature version of Clayface over at the studio. However, there was no word on if it was greenlit and if the studio had said no. There was no offers, no deals. Now, typically a DC supervillain, the Flanagan pick, should it move forward, he wouldn't be a bad guy, so they heard. Kind of odd. Word is that Flanagan and his picture partner Trevor Macy had a meeting with DC bosses James Gunn and Peter Safran. Flanagan, we understand, wasn't pitching the character to be part of Matt Reeves' DC Elseworld, the Batman 2 set for October 3rd, 2025, but we know that's changed. Okay. That said, other sources are telling us the scripts are constantly changing and that Clayface is a big addition to Matt Reeves' The Batman 2. And now this is all the way back in 2023, March of 2023. Now, it remains to be seen whether Clayface is a connection between the Batman 2 Elseworld or Gunn and Safran's feature and series sprawling DC Gods and Monsters Chapter 1. So what could this mean? What could this possibly mean? Could this be an Elseworlds? Could this be a one-off like a Joker? With the success that they saw with Joker, could they be taking that route? Could they think we can make the same type of noise that we made with Joker, just with Clayface? Because if you know the story of Clayface, you could potentially have something there similar to a Joker movie. You could. But then again, with what's going on with Matt Reeves' universe, and they did something with the Penguin, they could potentially be doing something like this where they have a series specifically made for Clayface. I don't see it being part of the DCU. I just don't see them doing that because they're going to want to establish Batman and the DCU before they really branch off to this kind of stuff. So I think it comes down to either being an Elseworld story or connected to the Matt Reeves story. But if they go Elseworlds, how pissed off is one certain section of the fandom going to be? How pissed off are they going to be? I want to know what your thoughts are, though. Let me know in the comments below. All right, what do we got here? Jalen goes, Clayface, excuse me. Derpy says maybe it's for Batman as spinoff. Matthew, I didn't think it was a good movie, and I love The Shining. You're talking about his, I can't remember the name. I just said it. I know what you're talking about, though. The Dr. Sleep. There we go. Derpy Entertainment, I could see that with Clayface if you do it right. Yeah, exactly. It could be like a Joker type of movie for sure. It's interesting, though. Definitely interesting. I don't know. It's interesting. I just wanted to point this out because it was a big ta-da about it last week, and I thought people should hear about it. It's interesting. It's different. It surely is different. But let's move on. This is the main topic. I want to get to it. I don't want to miss and take up any more time. I know people are here to hear about this and discuss this. Look, this is getting out of hand, guys. This is getting out of hand. This is getting out of hand. Over the weekend, over the more than the past 5-6 days, DC Studios has really blown up. I mean, think about it. They got their first two projects out the door. The Penguin and the Christopher Reeve story, Superman. Both have gotten rave reviews. Critics and fans have loved both of them. James Gunn posts on his Instagram stories, good start for DC Studios. Quality is our priority. Okay, that's fine. He goes, incredible. Hashtag the Christopher Reeve story. He posted this on September 21st. Got 100% tomato meter, 35 reviews. He's proud of this movie. He's proud of how good of a job the filmmakers of this documentary did, and that it got 100% after 35 reviews. He's saying it's incredible. Yet you have people like Grace Randolph's on her, burner account. I don't really know if it's that. I just think it's funny that people say it is. They say taking credit for projects he had no involvement with. You have S for Hope, because that's not a Snyder account. He actually is taking credit, LOL. Where is this taking credit? This is where things it's getting to a new low. It's getting out of hand. It's getting ridiculous. First off, I did a video about this just yesterday, and it's gotten some good traction. It got some good traction. It's an exciting time for DC Studios. Their first 2 projects out the door have done really well, critically and fan reception. But the Christopher Reeve story wasn't made by DC Studios. You're right, it wasn't. It wasn't made by DC Studios. Do you want to know how many studios will go out and buy movies just to distribute them? Pretty much all of them. Pretty much all the studios do that. They'll find studios, production companies that don't have a lot of money. Production companies that don't have a lot of money will go and find big studios. They want bigger studios to buy the movies, to distribute them. That's what they want to have happen. That's what festivals are for. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but when independent filmmakers take their films to, say, Sundance or Cannes, and they go and show off their movie at these festivals, one of the reasons why they do that is so somebody will buy the movie to distribute it across the globe to a larger audience. That doesn't mean that that studio made the movie. That doesn't mean that that studio put the money into the movie. That studio knows that. Those producers know that. But there is a skill. There is a skill set that is there for these studio heads to go and find these movies, to find and try and buy these movies to distribute them. Because you can go and buy any movie. You can go and buy shitty independent movies. Anybody can do that. But it's going and finding the good films, the good movies, and putting your brand on it, your studio's brand on it. And then it being a hit. Now, in this case, with the Christopher Reeve story, it's kind of a win-win. It was kind of an easy get. Well, I won't say it was an easy get, but it was an easy want, I should say. It was an easy want. Because it's Christopher Reeve. It was Superman. He was Superman. So it's an easy want for DC Studios. But that doesn't mean it was easy for James Gunn to go, hey, we want this movie. Here's $20. No, they had to negotiate. They had to make a deal for this to happen. Because the documentaries, the documentarians, they were careful in making sure that they got all the rights, all the necessary documents done so that they didn't step on Warner Brothers' toes in making this documentary. That way, they could have released it without Warner Brothers' blessing, without DC's blessing at all. But DC, Warner Brothers, they did the thing. They went, they did the work. They fought hard to get the rights to distribute it. And that's what they did. They got the rights to distribute this movie. Now, James Gunn saying good start for DC Studios is not saying that, hey, we made this movie. Not even a little bit. But just like all studios that go out and purchase films to distribute, yeah, that's a good start for DC Studios because they went and got a damn good movie to distribute. That's a good job, James Gunn. That's a thumbs up. Now, let's look at the Penguin. The Penguin, on the other side, was produced, was executed, was filmed pretty much entirely under DC Studios. In that case, yeah, James Gunn has every right to be proud of that show. Now, did he write it? No. Did he direct it? No. But he's the head of the studio that was in charge of all of that. He could at any time go down, look at the dailies, look at what's going on, go on set, give his opinion, give input. And he very well could have, and we don't know. He could have done some of that. Now, he stated that the best move for him, because of the world they were building, was to let them do their thing. Let Matt Reeves do his thing. And sometimes when it comes to being a good manager, a good studio head, whatever it is, because let me tell you, I'm a manager. I've been a manager for many years in different scenarios, in different corporations, in different businesses. Sometimes the way to be a good manager, not always, but sometimes the way to be a good manager is to let your employees do what they know how to do. And sometimes the way to be a good manager is to know when to step in and help them, to lead by example, or to just do. In this case, with the Penguin, James Gunn felt that it was best to let them do what they know how to do. And as of episode 1, it appears to have worked. So again, absolutely. Bravo, James Gunn. 2 home runs this weekend with DC Studios. Is he taking credit for the Christopher Reeves story? No. Is he taking credit for Matt Reeves, the Penguin? No. He's excited that 2 projects are coming out of the studio that he is co-heading are doing so well. Now, these are the same people who 2 years ago, not even, criticized him because he gave notes on the Flash movie. Gave notes. Oh my God, he gave notes to the Flash. Oh, that movie is a failure because James Gunn put George Clooney in the Flash movie. That's it. He's going to take complete ownership of that garbage. It's all his fault. There's nothing that this man can do for these guys, this cult, these people, whatever you want to call them. There's nothing that James Gunn's going to do to make them happy. So at this point, we've discovered now that there's no bar that can be set. There's nothing that can be done to appease these people. So why do they even bother? Why do they even care anymore? Why don't they just go away? If they're so obsessed with James Gunn, go watch his softcore. No, it's not even softcore. Go watch his hardcore porn cartoon on Netflix. Go watch 2 guys taking it up the ass on Netflix in animated form. If that's what you want to watch, go watch it. Nobody's watching it. I can tell you that. Nobody's talking about it because nobody cares about Zack Snyder. But if that's what you want to, if that's what you want, go watch his shit. Nobody is. Not even you. But you say that's what you want. Meanwhile, people are excited about what James Gunn is doing. People are excited about what's coming from the DCU. But all you people can do is sit here and criticize and blame and get mad at James Gunn for being excited about 2 projects that came out. It's pathetic. It's disgusting. It's gross. It's time to grow up. It's getting out of hand. That's all it is. It's getting out of hand. You're destroying the DC fandom. You're making it not fun for new people to want to come into the DC fandom. And that's the worst part about it. For fans who sat there and said artistic integrity and accountability over entertainment and AFSP and we're better than those people who blah blah blah. No, you're far worse. You're far worse. You're the worst kind of fan there is besides Star Wars fans right now. You are the worst kind of fans there are. And there's no coming back from it at this point. If you continue down this path, there's no coming back from it. None. None. All right, that was my 10-minute rant. Hope you enjoyed it. What do you got to say, chat? Because I know you got a lot to say. Holy crap. I don't know where we went here. What do you say? Derpy Entertainment, DC Studios, baby. This is how you do it, and that's been overdue. You get some in charge that love comics and know it's just audience. James Gunn is not our enemy. I'm sick of it. Matthew Gaudette, I grew up with Reeve as Superman. He was the embodiment of hope. Please don't tell me Snyder fans are hating on him. That's exactly what they're doing, Matthew. That's what they're doing. They're hating on anything that isn't Zack Snyder anymore. That's all they do. All they do is hate on anything that's not Zack Snyder connected to Zack Snyder, and it's pathetic. It's getting old. I was once part of that fandom. There's a reason why I left that fandom. There's a reason why I said, no, I'm sick of it. No more. They're disgusting. They're toxic. I don't want any part of it. There's a reason why I left them. Critic Chris, I want to see Reeves' story, but I don't want to drive 3 hours to the closest theater showing it. That sucks. Well, it's only in theaters, 2 days? It was the 21st and then the 25th. So I don't know when it comes out on streaming, but I don't think it's that long after it'll be out on streaming. Jalen, oh God, I hate Grace with a burning passion. Her takes are wild. Her views, especially on other female actors, are crazy, and her voice is annoying as hell. Derpy Entertainment, it's supposed to get a worldwide release in October. That's the rumor, though, Critic. Critic, oh my God, Snyder Crybaby's been nitpicking about everything regarding from Gunn himself to hating the new DC logo. That's another thing. They legitimately were crying about the DC logo on the Penguin series. They were mad that they put the DC Studios logo on the Penguin series. I forgot to put that on there. I don't have it pulled up. They legitimately whined and cried about that. Like, it's a DC Studios production. It was produced under the DC Studios banner. Yes, that's what happens. That's what they do. Mano's time. They don't know how studios work. The gaming industry has been doing this for years, and they never received any hate. Look no further than Netflix as well. They are popular for this too. Again, this has been Hollywood for decades. This isn't anything new in Hollywood either. That's what people don't understand. Like, this isn't anything new. It's just that these are people that don't understand how Hollywood works. All they see is this blind hate for James Gunn because it's not Zack Snyder. It's not Zack Snyder, so we have to hate James Gunn. And that's again, I said this weeks ago. It doesn't matter who they would have put in place to run DC Studios. If it was The Rock, they would have done the same thing. If it was Justin Lin, it would have been the same thing. If it was anybody, it doesn't matter who would be running DC Studios right now. This unbridled hate, this unbridled hatred would still be there. It doesn't matter who it would have been because it isn't Zack Snyder. The only way that this hatred would stop is if Zack Snyder got in there and Zack Snyder was running the show. But nobody, no studio head in their right mind would have done this or would have done that. None. Zero. Zip. Nada would have done that. None. Jalen Harris. Seriously, how do people think that James Gunn is taking credit for these projects like WTF? He's just glad that the current project owned by the studio is successful and appreciated the hard work of Matt DC. Again, exactly. Just exactly. Johnny Dome Studios, it's like Disney saying they made the first phase of Marvel when Paramount made them. Yeah, I mean, Disney never said that, but you're right. It's like you're right. It would be like them saying, hey, this is, we succeeded in this, more or less. Yeah, it would be more like Kevin Feige saying it, not Disney. More like Kevin Feige or maybe Bob Iger coming out and saying, not Kevin, because Kevin Feige wasn't in charge of anything back then. Bob Iger coming out and saying it. But if Bob Iger came out and said, "Hey, good job, congratulations, this is awesome," it's no different because it's connected Marvel Studios. Yeah, maybe I don't know. I can't remember, when did Marvel Studios get bought? 2009, right? By Disney. 2009. So I don't know. Like I don't. It all depends how that that would have played out. My mind's not thinking straight right now. How that would have worked, because it's all about if Universal made the movie. So like the Incredible Hulk was made by Universal, and it was distributed by. Was it distributed by Disney? Is that how it was? I think that's how it was. So yeah, I mean, look at it that way. That's exactly how it would be. Yes, if that's how it worked. Scarred Life. Gunn is not even taking credit for anything. He's just saying that they are worth seeing. Matthew God, I love Cavill, Man of Steel, but I'm never going against Reeve or Donner. That is almost sacrilege. I only like a couple of Gunn's movies as well. Not a shill, but this is crazy. Derpy Entertainment, the cult are not DC fans. They are not even close to the fans. Gunn is not our enemy, and we finally have someone that knows Marvel secrets, and you want him fired. I don't care about the Marvel secrets. I just want them to make good movies. I want them to build a connected universe that's fun and exciting, that gives us hope for the future, that's going to be connected and just look, is every movie going to be good in the DCU? Probably not. Is every movie going to be and project going to be for me? No. But do I want it to be more exciting than not? Absolutely. Do I want it to be better than the DCEU? Absolutely. That's all I'm looking for. Critic says, I laugh my ass off when these guys think Snyder can get all DC characters. If Universal or Netflix picked up, WB is never going to let go of their DC properties when they've made money off countless films. Derpy, thank you, boss. James Gunn. Matthew says, I'm consistent. If I like a movie, I will say I like it, whether Snyder or Gunn. If they make a goose egg, aka turkey, I'll also say so. Derpy, I thought the Flash movie was awesome. See, I like the Flash movie also. It has its problems. Most movies do. The Flash definitely has its problems, but hey, it's still a decent movie. I still enjoy it. Derpy says, not masterpiece, but definitely better than anything put out by Marvel lately. Critic Chris, they're biased, toxic hate mongers, best way to describe them. Silas Cow, whatever. Okay, after that pitch, maybe I will take a pick in what Snyder is doing. Derpy Entertainment, who the heck are you, Silas? Okay. Matthew got it. I was excited about Rebel Moon. I thought maybe some new space opera, but it was terrible. I was not predisposed to hate it. Look, I made a video. You can go back in my channel and you will see that I hyped up Rebel Moon. I was really thinking like you, new space opera, new space epic. This could be awesome. Man, was it a stinker. Man, those movies were bad. They were terrible. Critic Chris, I always hold judgment till after I see any movie. If I don't plan to see it, I won't be talking negative about it or base judgment off trailers. Trailers can be misleading. Absolutely. Cozy Lion, funny how people gave James Gunn credit for DC flops in 2023, but when a project is great, they say he's stealing credit. I said that, yes. Critic Chris, not a big fan of Snyder or Gunn. Hold no royalty to any director. If I did, Snyder and Gunn wouldn't be in my choice. Steven Spielberg would probably be top of my list. Even he can be a miss sometimes. Scarred Life, giving constructive notes is part of his job as the head of DC. It's all to help DC to be a success. If people don't want DC to be successful, then I think maybe they're not actual fans. 100%. Derpy, funny story. I want Spielberg to direct Superman and James Gunn to just be our Kevin Feige. Honestly, I don't want Spielberg touching DC because I don't think he has the ability to do DC. I wanted Spielberg to do Fantastic Four. There were only two people I wanted to do Fantastic Four. It was either Spielberg or Brad Bird. Those are the only two people I wanted to do Fantastic Four. That's it. Spielberg, I just don't think he can do DC. I just don't think he could. He just doesn't have the right style for DC, in my opinion. Hunter Iggy, Snyder Bros, they want competition with James Gunn, DCU, not to join forces with Zack Snyder, Justice League, and James Gunn, DCU versus MCU. That's again, you talk to me about this all the time. It's the Snyderverse fans just want, like I said, they just want the Snyderverse. They don't want anything else. They want DC to fail because they think if the DCU fails, they get the Snyderverse back. That's what they think. They don't care about anything else. They think if DC fails, they win. But that's not the case. That's not what's going to happen. They just don't understand that. Case in point, they thought if the DCEU failed, they would get the Snyderverse back. That didn't happen. They think that it's gonna happen with the DCU. It's not gonna happen. Like, they can keep trying to make this stuff fail, and it's not gonna happen. They also try to take credit for the DCEU failing. They think they're the reason why the DCEU failed. They sit there and say, all those movies failed because we didn't go see the movies. But then they'll sit there and say, The Flash failed because of James Gunn. Which is it? Like, they can never come up with one story. Did it fail because you didn't go see it, or did it fail because of James Gunn? Which we know it wasn't because of James Gunn, and it wasn't because of them. It failed because the audience was just sick of DC at that point in time. The audience was just checked out of DC by then. You could see just the trend from the movies prior to The Flash. They just were getting fewer and fewer people going to them. But that's the point. They cannot ever get on one, like, this is what we want, this is how it works, this is what it is. They're all over the place. Super As 1981, the first MCU movie had the Disney logo, was the Avengers. Gotcha. Thank you, Super As. Can never remember when that all went down. That was all confusing time. Johnny Dome, when did Snyder talk about a comic besides Batman? If Snyder controlled DC, it would be a Batman universe. Dude, Snyder just wants to make heavy metal. Like, case in point, Twilight of the Gods. He just wants to make cartoon porn. If he could make DC porn, that's probably what he would make, honestly. Like, we want Snyder as far away from comics at this point. That's all. Critic Chris, I prefer Spielberg did Fantastic Four for Marvel too. Johnny Dome, Spielberg DC Dinosaur Island movie, but Michael Bay Lobo needs to happen. That'd be. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Michael Bay Lobo? I don't know how I feel about that. Matthew got at Spielberg can't do old Spielberg style anymore. Closest was Tintin or maybe Crystal Skull, and it's not the best results. Ready Player One was atrocious. See, I didn't hate Ready Player One. It wasn't the best. I also didn't read the book. I know people who read the book didn't like it, but it wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible, in my opinion. For someone who didn't read the book, I didn't think it was all that bad. One of my buddies, he read the book, thought it was terrible. So I get it. Oh boy, that was a show. That was a show for sure. That was definitely a show. There we go. I guess I can bring this up. This Wednesday will be the start of our Watchtower show. So it's eventually going to be the Thursday Watchtower DC talk type of show. But again, due to my kids having soccer on Thursday, soccer practice on Thursdays, it's going to be Wednesdays temporarily. So it's going to be Wednesday Watchtower. And it's just going to be DC talk moving forward. My midweek show will be DC talk. It's just going to be DC. That's it. No other stuff. We're going to talk DC Wednesday Watchtower. The Wednesday, is it going to be the Wednesday Watchtower? It's actually the Thursday Watchtower, but Wednesday Watchtower. So keep a lookout for that. This week is going to be about Batman. We're going to talk specifically about Batman, the Brave and the Bold, and how they need to make this movie different from, say, Matt Reeves' Batman, what they did in Zack Snyder's, and Christopher Nolan's, like what they need to do different to really set this apart and make this Batman really stand out. So that is what we're going to do with this Wednesday's show. So I hope you guys come back for that. Should be exciting for sure. We got some people putting some more comments up. Let's see what we got here. Jay Trinidad, am I the only one who thinks James Gunn single-handedly saved the DCEU? I mean, DCEU? When did he save the DCEU? I mean, he did the Suicide Squad, which was a lot of fun, and Peacemaker, which was great. Besides that, he didn't really do too much. I'd like to know what you think, how he saved it. Matthew got at Raiders of the Lost Ark will always be on replay in my life. Perfect movie. He will never get that close again. See, I love Raiders. I love Raiders, but I'm always a Last Crusade guy. I love Last Crusade. Love that movie. Critic Chris, I've said that about Snyder and his love of heavy metal films like The Crow, Spawn, and more. Snyder's forte, not DC or Marvel characters. Yeah, he needs to just stay away from DC at this point. Look, I like what he did with his trilogy. And if he gets a chance to finish his arc, sure, I'm down for it. Animate the Snyderverse, guys. Animate the Snyderverse. But at this point, I just don't think it's worth it. Look, got this right here. Animate the Snyderverse. Go follow this. This is, I run this page over on X, Animate the Snyderverse. If you're interested, that's, I think, the best course of action. That's what I think. Yeah. All right, guys. So like I said, this coming Wednesday, it'll be at 8:30 p.m. I'm going to stick to 8:30 p.m. on Wednesdays, and then until soccer season is over, we'll then move it to Thursdays at 8:30. But 8:30 p.m., we're going to talk about Batman, Brave and the Bold. Again, it's going to be The Watchtower. That is the show. That is the name of the show. So get excited. Did this for you guys. You guys love DC talk, so I wanted to make a show for you guys. DC heavy. My Monday shows are going to stay the same. Not changing that. But this Wednesday, this midweek, I'll call it the midweek show, is DC talk all the time. All right, guys. Oh, wait, I got more stuff here. I missed it. Woo, missed it. Let's see. Tio Jones, what do you guys think of live action New Frontier 3-part adaptation by Spielberg? That'd be interesting. Trinidad, sure, the Suicide Squad didn't make a lot of money, but I think that's because a lot of people don't have faith in going to theaters, see DC movies, good enough after the shitty projects. That's part of it. COVID, day and date, so on and so forth, yes. But I think it was DC's best recent movie, plus Peacemaker was a very good show. 100% agree, Trinidad, 100% agree. Matthew got at a colorful Batman, but not Batman and Robin or 60s style. How do you straddle that line? We'll talk about that. Join the show on Wednesday, Matt. We'll talk about that. Trinidad, James Gunn single-handedly saved the DCEU, in my opinion. Johnny Dome, thoughts on Francis Ford Coppola direct Elseworld Superman movie starring Nick Cage? Why not? Why not? Down the line, though. Let's get the DCEU established. Scared Life. Jeez. I wish the Snyder fans understood what they were doing, and if DC fails, we're getting nothing but Batman Forever. Is even that. Tio Jones, A New Frontier by Spielberg as Elseworld movie separate from Gunn's DCU. Fandom Man, it's been a while since I've talked in a live. Love your show. Thank you, Fandom Man. Thank you so much. Am wrapping up, though. Definitely wrapping up. Stop by, like I said, this Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. We will be doing all DC talk on my midweek show. So stop by if you like the DC talk. You got the little Green Lantern guy for your whatever. Yeah. Profile picture. There we go. So you must love DC. Critic Chris, I prefer Snyder to go back to horror genre. Loved his Dawn of the Dead remake, which Gunn wrote. Very true. Tio Jones is the last comment I'm talking about. Tio Jones, Critic Chris, no wonder that movie was such trash. Two dummies worked on. Ooh. Wow. All right. That's it for tonight, guys. Thank you all so much for joining. Again, make sure you hit that like button, hit subscribe if you are not subscribed for more from Slav's Free Talk. Make sure you share this around as well. It's a good time, good show. Guys, thank you all so much. I will talk at all of you later.